Alright, what's up, you guys? Time for another video, and this is going to be a follow-up to maybe the last video I did about what to expect if you elect Bloomberg. But then this is going to be part of a series of follow-up, maybe a couple more videos of why, who not to vote for, or whatever. Instead of endorsing to vote for somebody, I'm saying why to not vote for somebody. So this one is about Sanders. Since Sanders is a democratic socialist and he's promising free this and that for everybody, which I listened to Jim Quinn when I had the best warehouse job that I ever had, and I'll probably never see money like it again with this economy, profit sharing bonuses, and I told you guys that followed me in my other story. Walking around with long hair, smirk on my face, making a good amount an hour, spending all my money instead of on drugs that people accuse me from. I'm eating in the best restaurant in town. And I explained anyway, an economy is because, well, okay, be patient. This is relevant. I'm going to remind you because of democratic socialism. This particular place, I made this kind of money at the time because they were south. I said this in a video before. Because the thing I was manufacturing, they sold the stuff for several $1,000s a set. But anyway, like, yeah, it was dock seal pads that a truck pulled up against loading dock, and they sold that for several thousand. We outfitted everything. You can't, and that was capitalism. People paid taxes, we paid taxes, and it's like. But anyway, Sanders, if he was, a democratic socialist, if you have a democratic socialist in public office, there isn't enough tax money to pay all this shit. They got to inflate the currency. Population is pretty much skyrocketed. It's damn near impossible. And I already going to make a video already about that owner of Amazon on a separate note. Yeah, throwing all billions, a couple $1 billion over to environmental scientists, which I think is a Ponzi scheme, giving them free money, and it's probably a bribe under the guise, but Christ. But anyway, yeah, this relates to why Sanders, democratic socialist. You get fucking assholes already separate from democratic socialism that can be helping the poor and maybe put water wells in, which I don't want to go into too much about that. I want to do a separate video on that. Anyway, I'm going to say it real quick. This asshole, owner of Amazon, giving all this to some environmental scientists. Meanwhile, you got fucking television religions, like I said before in videos, begging for your money. If you could, we can just get $1,000 off a credit card. We'll put water wells in. People don't have it. This guy, owner of Amazon, can do that. But at the same time, if he was a democratic socialist, he'd be fucking dangerous. But, I'm getting to Sanders. I'm getting to it. Just give me one more minute. A guy like this that has all this money, he's giving it to them scientists, right? He can be doing what these television people begging for your money are claiming to do, and they're taking their money off the top. But this guy is so fucking ridiculously rich, he can put these people to shame, put in some water wells, take care of world poverty. Well, this is why there's so fucking much poverty. You got this philanthropist, make you fucking laugh. They publicly throw money to shit like this. And you know how much they can do for the world and put in fresh water? They don't want to do that. Why? Because they want to keep everybody weak. They're picking and choosing who they throw billions of dollars for. But then, okay, now it's for Sanders, democratic socialist. Okay, you're going to see the connection that people who have all this money could give, and they're giving it to, they're picking and choosing. Doing shit that don't even make sense could solve the problem. And Bernie Sanders, well, people want to elect Bernie Sanders on this thing that they think in democratic socialism, the hero, we are going to come and force, they're going to take all these rich people's money away by force. Maybe they'll confiscate all their money and cure world hunger, which they won't. It'll turn into like communist Russia, pretty much. Or North Korea. They'll have their main kiss-ass people here that are really submissive and obedient. And they'll put it all into the enforcing class. Be better fed and everything. Like fucking North Korea does. That's what we'll have in this country if we get fucking Bernie Sanders in. Man, people like me with a ponytail, that goes out in the cold once a year for charity. Man, yeah, his police will be slamming my ass against the police car, threatening violence, checking my nose for cocaine, all that happy horse shit, you know what I mean? No different. It'll be it'll be community-oriented policing and the he said, she said gossip shit, calling the cops shit on steroids. That's what democratic socialism will be. You're not on board with that, man. And it'll probably be a prison labor camp, too, you know what I mean, too. For people that think they're so smart, you know, just like Soviet Russia, the gulags, labor camps, communists like China, and, yeah, look what the fuck they did to these other South American countries with fucking socialism. And then they have Che Guevara statues of him in some of them South American countries like he's a fucking god. Yeah, but he literally, you see these fucking pictures of fucking Che Guevara on these South American countries? They have, the statues look like they're fucking Buddha statues, okay? But only it's Che Guevara, like he's worshipped like a fucking god, like it's the fucking Buddha. I mean, these, what's that one country I'm looking for? Venezuela. Look what the fuck they did to Venezuela already. And even if you don't like our President Trump, and I'm not endorsing him or anything in any way, okay? Supposedly he gave a bunch of food aid to Venezuela, and that motherfucker just destroyed it all out of spite. And I think Colombia, the next door country, Colombia somewhere close, was accepting refugees and food aid or something. And Colombia at the same time had a reputation for corruption. The people that actually rule that country. I mean, so I guess they're South American military dictator, narco terrorist, narco communist countries that are a lesser evil, that might have a kindler, gentler hand, so to speak. You gotta fucking wonder, but yeah, Sanders. You bring Sanders into office, you know, he might have medical problems and die before he gets a chance to get reelected, you know what I mean? Well, people were talking about his health and his age. Well, there are some people make rumors about Trump and his health and his age or whatever, and then fucking But democratic socialist is fucking dangerous. I seen, yeah, what democratic socialist is. And when you don't have enough of currency, you inflate it, right? And you have it in your heart to want to help the poor, right? They got a fucking rat, just like Jim Quinn. When I listen to fucking Jim Quinn on the radio, it's not conspiracy theory. If they don't have enough of farms and things to provide it, they gotta create prison labor, so to speak, to provide you with your free food and all that. But then, even with not enough money to crank it out, you gotta have enough food and shit to crank it up out of these farms. Whether you use prison labor for the dissidents, so to speak, get them to do all the prison labor, bring back the chain gangs, you know, almost like they did with all the black, like the movies, the man who broke 1,000 chains, and the chain gangs where they had even though they did away with slavery or phasing out, so to speak, it was in a form of prison. You had them, they were doing that, and then there was the story, the man who broke 1,000 chains, you know, you still got copies of that on YouTube that was taken off VHS, but the only white guy that was inside a chain gang, and he saw all these black prisoners were getting tortured and killed, so to speak. A very emotional movie. No sarcasm intended. It was sad, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, you'll have that shit, but only instead of just because you're black, you'll be black, you'll be white too, and it'll be like those like whatever you want to call the camps, the prison labor camps, North Korea, all them. That's what they said. You're working till you die, and then all your neighbors will be glad to turn you in for a little bit of extra coin, so to speak. Which, of course, they'll take it back, you know, in the form of taxes. You'll be able to report your neighbor. Oh, you know, something about him where he walks cocky all the time and he disagrees with certain things. He's a dissident. Get a little reward from the government, you know. Turn it into your own family member or your neighbor. And meanwhile, after you get your little reward for turning in, Democratic Socialists turned me in as a dissident, okay, for walking around too cocky or something. Slave labor camp. Yeah, give you your little reward, right? As soon as you get it, they'll take it back. higher taxes, you'll have higher costs. And even with prison labor for the dissidents, there's not enough food to provide from these farms to crank it out, you know. It doesn't come out of the air. You got to grow the food and then the livestock. You have no fucking idea what you could be eating, you know. Maybe not quite like Soylent Green, the old movie Soylent Green that Truth Stream Media and these other YouTubers are talking about. You know, yeah, you'll be getting some kind of, whether it's communist China or whatever, there'll be some kind of meat that you'll be getting, that food. But you can't prove it. You don't know what's in that can. They're distributing it to you, you know. It might be the dissidents that they put away. They worked to death and they died, you know what I mean? Chop them up, chuck them up. Won't be Soylent Green, but they might tell you it's some kind of canned beef or canned pork. After all, you know, you've seen your some of your things in documentaries and all that. The people that their ancestors were cannibals. They said, human flesh kind of tastes like pork when you ask them. You know, if you actually watched everything from River Monsters to all these other documentaries where he was in those other countries. Yeah, probably not just feeding people bat, rat, and everything else like they're doing in China. Yeah, I made some bad jokes about it, but you never fucking know, you know. And if it's just the plain ordinary people, the ordinary sheep, you know. You're cattle, you know. You're considered cattle. And look what they literally did to cattle, you know, too. Actual cattle animals. They were feeding the cattle scraps from the cattle that were killed, so to speak, and you got that mad cow disease. They'll give it. Yeah, that's what they were fucking probably doing in these countries now, where people are getting them diseases. They damn, you don't know what the hell they might have been eating. You know, they probably created some fucking disease, and that might have been no different than. Yeah, they did that for other centuries. There's some gruesome shit that not all the details survived, but enough of it that. You watch the History Channel, I'll spare you, but yeah, enough about that. But yeah, well, Sanders, you know, will actually plummet everybody into that, you know what I mean? But even if you don't think it come that far and you're rolling your eyes at me, at the very least, democratic socialism, you know, you're not on board with it. I mean, you think, yeah, he'll do the same damn fucking shit Bloomberg did. But only difference between him and Bloomberg is Bloomberg was a mayor of like New York and literally violated everybody's constitutional rights and was able to have everybody frisk anytime he pleases. But at the same time, yes, high crime area in cities. Yeah, the people that do really bad crimes push the shit along and get the public and then the very police. You know, everybody's all paranoid. And then, yeah, they scream for it. And, yeah, next time, yeah, he'll turn just like Bloomberg would do. Cops will come down and slam you against the police car if you have dreads or you have hair a little long, and then threaten violence if you don't comply with a pat-down search, which basically, yes, there's a lot of crime, but at the same time, it's what another neo-socialist government wants to do. It's also a intimidation tactic. It's to show the showing of dominance. That's what these third world countries, these communist countries do. Sometimes the police are also the army and paramilitary, militarized. Like the president of the Future of Freedom Foundation said, the police act effectively as thugs. You know, they can do whatever they please because they got the guns. But then, yeah, at the same time, you want to admit that, that even if there is a lot of reasonable ways to do away with police, there is some dangerous people out there that want to do away with the police. Another culture, you know, that's the narco-terrorist culture in these other countries. They want to do away with the police because they're definitely not shy about condoning and perpetrating the same brutality or worse that they accuse the police of. It's just, it's only bad when the police do it. I'm not sticking up for the police either, you know. But there's a element where for some reason you're damned either way. I mean, you don't want to say every single police is bad. You know, there are some rookie police that died in a crossfire that are doing some things beyond the call. I understand that. Then you got the moderate drug users out there that got sneak with a joint once in a while. They're moderates, and then the other culture that might be selling the drugs here and there. Oh yeah, they eat that shit up, you know. Down with the police, death to the police, and hail to a drug daddy. Which, if you actually break one of their taboos, or you're not on board with something, they can be passive aggressive and then have you beat up or whatever the hell too. Curse the police for doing it, but they're willing to do the same damn thing themselves. But that's okay, you know. And these are the kind of people that call for, like, they want to phase us into a narco-communist government, a narco-socialist government, which, you know, they're legalizing a little bit of drug. They're calling for legalization of all kind of other drugs now too, you know.